Today I want to talk about political communication, specifically the way that media works to deliver messages from political organizations to the public. I'm going to walk through this process using the Affordable Care Act as a case study. The ACA was signed during Obama's first term, but the debate over it has continued to present day, well into the Trump administration. Once the Affordable Care Act passed, Obama and all of those political organizations had only accomplished half of their job. The other half was to get citizens to sign up for health care. That was the only way the program was going to be successful. Obama played a big role in that. He became the face of the Affordable Care Act. He branded the legislation. Obamacare was the term originally used by Republicans, but he embraced it and made it well known. He did a lot on social media with hashtag Obamacare. He used traditional media as well, like the pomp and circumstance of signing a bill in front of a crowd while they applaud. And he appeared on the YouTube special Between Two Ferns, which we will actually watch this week as part of your assignment, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the discussion post. He made sure that you could go online and find out what the policy was all about and how it worked. In short, he launched a massive PR campaign. The government is always involved in public relations. It's a way of influencing the public and maintaining the consent of the governed. But what you might not know unless you're taking a public relations class is that in 1913, we actually passed the Gillett Amendment, which says that you can do public relations, but you can't call it public relations. The law originally passed because the reputation of PR was really, really bad, and the government was trying to separate itself from shifty firms. We still follow the law, sort of. If you look online for a government job in public relations, it'll probably be listed under different terms like community liaison officer, communication officer, or public information officer. There are a lot of different terms that we use nowadays to get around the PR law. The government spends around $1 billion annually, and just 10 advertising firms account for 95% of their business. The chart on the right shows how much was spent each year, and you can see that in 2009, just before Obamacare passed, spending went way up, as his campaign tried to get the word out that this was a good thing, that people needed it. If they influence us and we influence our representatives, then policies might get passed. That's how PR works. We tend to think of news as a top-down process. The spokesman for the president comes out to a podium and tells the reporters something, and then they relay it to us, the citizens, unfiltered. But there are filters. There's biases, agendas, audience demographics, corporate interests. All of these things play a part in which messages make it to the public. Citizens hear all these messages and they don't remain passive. They're active and they respond. We use social media like memes or blogs. We write letters or file complaints. We use Twitter to do this sometimes nowadays. We fill out surveys or satisfaction polls like Yelp. And media, in turn, responds to our responses. They use our statements to reshape their narratives, to add to their conversations, to commentate, or to instigate discussion. We create and recreate from the top down and back up and then back down again. What's considered important and how it's delivered, how we understand it as consumers, is always mediated by the message and how it is delivered. One of the coolest examples of this process of recreation is from the Jimmy Kimmel Show, where he went to the streets and asked people the difference between Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act, and which one they preferred. Remember, these two are the exact same thing. Obamacare is just the name that was initially given to the Affordable Care Act by people who didn't like it. But now Obama calls it Obamacare. He considers it his main piece of legislation, so it still has a negative connotation, but not as much as it did before, and only to some people. But of course, Kimmel's bit is full of people who have no idea that they're talking about the same bill with different names, and they have very strong opinions about why they would pick one over the other. It's funny to watch, and it makes for great television, but it points to the way that the public isn't always informed about the things that are going on in public politics, even if they're very passionate about them. That's a theme. Media is really good about stirring up our passions, but not necessarily our knowledge. We, in the communication field, see media and communication as a very important part of democracy that sometimes goes terribly wrong, but also does some incredible things. So what would media look like in a perfect democratic culture? Well, it would inform us of what's going on in the world, and it would do it in a way that educates us about why we need to know what they're telling us. It would also attempt to be unbiased in its representations, and we're a long shot from that right now. It would provide an equal platform and access for public discourse, not just for people that have money or access to public platforms, but also for those that don't. It would act as a check on government power and corruption. This is why the First Amendment to the Constitution is so important. And as we see now on news shows, it should promote advocacy, animal shelters, food banks, local charities, and other nonprofits. But right now, that's not how we do things. All right, a few last minute week 1 reminders. Please email me if you're feeling overwhelmed or you have questions about the class or if you can't understand anything in the syllabus. This isn't any harder than I'm making it out to be. You really just need to click on the Modules tab on the left side of the screen every week, and every assignment that's due that week will be listed in the order that it's due. So make sure you get in there early in the week and plan accordingly. Some weeks are more intense than others. So take a deep breath, hop on Canvas, and get to work.